All right, folks, what is going on? This is episode 380 of the First and Frame Rate Show. I am VF Baller, and today I got just a simple question for this episode. Not going to go too far in the weeds on what's going on here, whatever the case may be. This just crossed my mind basically, and I just wanted to just have a discussion about it. What are we going to do with Calvin Ridley? Should the Falcons let him walk once his suspension is over? I just want to get this out of the way now because I know after the season is over, the talk's going to be ramped up again. Even if he's, not reinstated, people are going to be talking about getting him reinstated and back on this team or whatever the case may be. I want to talk about should Arthur Smith and Terry Fontenot, or even Arthur Blank, try to get this guy back on the team. Should we or not? Should they let him walk? I'm gonna give you my thoughts and opinions about it, and we're gonna go from there. If this is your first time here, welcome. This is the First and Frame Rate Show. I am VF Baller. Over here we talk about Georgia Southern, Atlanta Falcons football. Talked a good bit about Georgia Southern lately, but we're going to jump into some Atlanta Falcons stuff today. If you don't want to listen to this on the audio side or, video side, I'll just give you all the platforms that I'm on. I'm on YouTube and Rumble. I'm also on Anchor, Stitcher, Spotify, Apple, and Google Podcasts, so you can find me in all those platforms. I highly I just recommend you to subscribe to more than one of those avenues so you can have, other ways to listen just in case one goes down. All the links are down in the description if you want to help support the show or donate. All that helps in every way possible. So every little bit helps, even if it's just a like or a share or a donate. It all works out. I appreciate you coming through and making it this far. And we're going to get into this topic today. Calvin Ridley, y'all know what happened to him after 5 games. He walked away from the team citing mental health issues. I think it was 5 games or 5 weeks. I can't remember. Then he ended up gambling or whatever the case may be. That's what they say he did. And ended up getting a 1-year suspension. Kind of don't agree with that either, to be honest. But when I look at the overall situation from the Falcons standpoint, they've been put in a predicament now. Should they let him continue to come back to the team after this year, or should they just go ahead and let him walk? Now, mind you, before we get into any of this, I think our wide receiver situation is pretty much straight. I know there's a report out there now talking about Darby, Alden Tate, and I think it's someone else. Damian Bird, I think that's his name. All 3 of those guys' positions not solidified. They're not permanent guys on the team. Now, well, mind you, I think Frank Darby has been somewhat a disappointment. I think he could have been a lot better than he has shown to be. He has the energy to be a really good player, but nothing just never really showed in that fashion. Alden Tate fits perfectly with this team. I don't know why he would not be have a spot on the team. And Damian Bird, I get it. I'm not a fan of it, but I get it. Personally, I want to see all 3 of these guys on the team. And I mean, that's just point blank. But with that being said, those guys aren't locks. What happens if they move on from the team moves on from those guys? We may have some type of a void going into the season and possibly next season. What does that bode for Calvin Ridley? He's under contract for this year, but he's forfeited his $11.1 million. And next year he's not signed. I think he's end up being a free agent after the season's over. So do the Falcons talk to him and try to pursue him again? Do they let him walk and let him go somewhere else? I know some teams that are probably interested. I think the Philadelphia Eagles are probably still interested in it for some reason. But with that being said, what do the Falcons do? Do they try to get first dibs at him or what? I'm going to give you my opinion. I think the Falcons should go ahead and let him walk. Clearly, I don't know what issue that he was going on or whatever happened to him, but he did not want to play with the team. He cited mental health issues, and that's fine. I'm not trying to say that that's not a legitimate reason to. I'm not saying that it is or it's not a legitimate reason to do your job, but I look at it like this: if you're not available, I can't do anything. I can't do anything for you. You can't do anything for me. I can't do anything for you. So I wish you the best at whatever you're going through. Whatever situation you got going on, if it's mental health or otherwise. But as far as that, I could use that slot for somebody else who wants to play. So I would rather get someone in who wants to play and can fill that slot and not being, distracted or worried about other things and or not get caught up in a situation where you're suspended for a year. So I know that may not bode well for a lot of people that's on the on the bandwagon for the Falcons because we want all the talent that we can get. But at the same time, I'm looking at the situation like he's not really, you know what I'm saying? He's not really available, and when he is, he's not. He hasn't produced. He had that one good season where he had over 1,000 yards, and he really stepped this game up and looked like he was going to be a number one receiver. And the following year, he only played a few games, which in some of those games was kind of iffy. But some of the things he did, it was basically a situation where he was looking to avoid contact, running away from contact, like he really was. His head wasn't really in the game. And like I said, he cited mental health issues. I'm not the one to say yay or nay to those. If that's his spill, if that's what he's rolling with, I respect it. But at the same time, I know there's other guys that want to play receiver for an NFL team. I'm going to try to bring those guys in. So, what do you do in this situation? Like I said, I don't see where it'd be viable for the Falcons to bring him back. I mean, depth chart purposes, maybe, but even then, I mean, does he play it down? If he does, will he play to his maximum potential? It's kind of the situation I'll think about with Julio Jones bringing him back in because I don't see a downside to it on paper. But knowing what Julio Jones have done in the last few seasons, like, yeah, I'm not sure about that. I don't know if that'd be the move to go with, but if you can get him on the minimum, you might be no harm, no foul. But I don't know. I got a gut feeling Julio Jones may have one more spot to land before his career is over and done with. I mean, I hate to say that because he has a lot of talent and he could play ball. But when it comes to Calvin Ridley, he's fairly young. So he has a lot of years ahead of him, even after the suspension is over. What do you do with that? Do you give him the bare minimum? Do you give him half of what he was forfeited to come back on the team? I think if you give him half, I think that's probably more than what any other team is going to try to give him. But you know what? You never know. The going rate for wide receivers is totally different as it was 2 or 3 years ago. I mean, I think right now you just had Terry McLaurin. He signed for almost $25 million, $22 million a year. I mean, that's insane numbers for a receiver. I'm not saying that Terry McLaurin don't deserve it, but still, that's insane numbers. The Devontae Adams deal. I mean, some of these receivers are making bank. A.J. Brown with the Eagles, making bank. So even with Calvin Ridley coming off of one season that he didn't really play, and he's suspended for another season, coming back at an early age. I mean, I think he's no more than 25, 26. He has like a good 7, 8 years ahead of him. So who wouldn't kick the tires on him? I'm just wondering, is it viable for the Falcons? Should the Falcons do it? I don't think they should. I mean, it's just too much stuff been going on with there when he was just not playing and showing up in places that that we never thought he'd be at under the circumstances. But I just feel, he does what he do. The Falcons going to do what they do. Also, before I close, I really want to say this. Like, how much do you pay him? How much? I mean, I was saying half of the $11 million. So you're probably looking at 5.5 a year for him to come back. Do he deserves the bare minimum, the veterans minimum? I mean, what do you do to sign him? Or not just the Falcons, I'm talking about any team. What do you do I mean, I don't think anybody's going to give him the average wide receiver contract after, what is taking place. You basically been going for 2 years. So I don't see them actually doing that. But I can also see where he can get a respectable amount of money to play football again, and somebody's going to kick the tires on him. Going through practice, OTAs, training camp, all this other stuff. And in 2023, if he goes through all of that, I can see him being a viable option for a team. But at the end of the day, you just don't know, because what if he goes through that again and have the mental situation going on where he can't play or he decides not to play? I mean, who's going to risk that money where that could be a possibility that your money that, the team's money that they're offering him contract-wise could be, a detriment to him to be basically dead cap space if he just, don't want to play. It's just, I don't know. It's just, I really don't know what to think about that. It's just at the end of the day, I mean, what do you do with that? What do you do with the situation like this? I'm pretty much at a loss when you're looking at a Calvin Ridley. He's a lot of talent. He's young. He could be an asset. I don't think he's a number one receiver anymore, but I think he could be a solid number two or a slot guy number three. But I'm gonna go to close for real in a second this time. But when you look at a Drake London and a Brian Edwards, Olamide Zaccheaus, and you got a couple other guys that are playing receiver right now, Calvin Ridley could fit in, take Zaccheaus' place. I don't know, because I mean, I just don't know. I think Zaccheaus has done everything right, and if he produces on a decent level, it'd be hard to remove Zaccheaus if he does put up solid numbers and play pretty well for a guy who technically hasn't been, well, I ain't gonna say technically, but haven't really been in the league for 2 years. That's gonna be a tough one to swallow, and I don't know if that's something that we, should entertain. I think the Falcons at the end of the day should let Calvin Ridley walk and continue to move in the right direction. You can have a lot of cap space. You can probably sign other receivers that you want to at that time, and I just feel like Calvin Ridley time is just up as a Falcon. I think he'll do good somewhere else, and that's just where I feel that he should go. There's nothing wrong with that. I just feel like being in a Falcons uniform just ain't for him after everything that's happened. That's just the way I feel. If anybody else want to let me know how they think in the comment section, let me know. If you like this commentary, hit the like button. Share this podcast. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. What do you think, guys? Calvin Ridley, should they let the Falcons? Should the Falcons let him walk? Should he come back on the team? And if he does, where does he fit in? Because we got a handful of receivers right now, and I don't know if they're going to be that far lacking behind to be replaced by a guy that's been out for almost 2 seasons. Let me know what you guys think. I am you can listen to me on YouTube or Rumble. I'm also on Anchor, Stitcher, Spotify, Apple, and Google Podcasts if you haven't heard the first time. Subscribe to any of these avenues, and I actually recommend you to subscribe more than one, just in case one of these go down. So I think this is a pretty cool situation for the Falcons. Not so much for Ridley, but we'll see how this plays out, because they're gonna have the money to do something. We just never know. What, does Ridley change his ways? Does he make a formidable person on the team? We're going to see. Other than that, I am out of here. You guys enjoy the rest of you guys' Wednesday. Y'all guys take it easy, and y'all be blessed. Peace.